Hi, and welcome to the next episode of Belly to Belly. And we're here today to talk about SelectUSA preparation. And we're with a great friend, Paul Zito from RGP, Northwest Ohio. How are you, Paul?
I'm great, Bill. Always good to see you. And thanks for all that you do to promote SelectUSA.
Oh, gosh, our pleasure for sure. And so let's hop into it. And the folks listening are companies that have either made the decision to come to SelectUSA and they're listening to this to get excited and prepared, or companies that are thinking about it. So one of our initiatives is really to help companies pre-meet resources that would be great for them to connect with before the event so that they can get more connections and more information before we all show up for that sort of 2.5 day sort of a scrum. And so if you wouldn't mind taking just a minute or two and talking about RGP Northwest Ohio and what you do to help companies expanding into Ohio.
RGP is a privately funded regional economic development organization. We cover a population around Toledo, Ohio of about 1.7 million people. We are one of the regional partners of Jobs Ohio. So we work in tandem with the state of Ohio's economic development organization to help companies from around the world to find a building, a piece of land that they could use as a manufacturing operation, R&D center, distribution facility, office, whatever they need. And then help them with the incentives available from the state government, county governments, local governments, and other sources. And those incentives can be quite valuable. Everything that we do is free of charge, gratis, because we care about bringing new jobs, new investment, new technology, and to be honest, cool people and cool companies to this region to help us grow.
That's awesome. Yeah, certainly good to bring good people into our communities for sure. So you've been to SelectUSA many times and sort of thinking about, the companies either again that have made the decision to come or are thinking about it. What are some of the things that keep you coming back, and what should companies know that they'll benefit from by going to the event?
Well, I'm looking at the data from last year. There were 5,000 attendees, 96 companies represented, 2,500 overseas business people to promote foreign direct investment into the U.S. and international trade and investment in general. One would be a fool not to go to SelectUSA Summit as an economic development organization. For the companies themselves, you have most of the 50 states represented there. Many of the regions within those states, metropolitan areas, large and medium-sized, like the Toledo area, plus forgive the wording, but the Army of the U.S. Commercial Service, the outposts from around the world, and the trade advisors that are in the USA of the U.S. Commercial Service are a valuable resource that the companies can utilize in their home country and then develop more at the SelectUSA Summit.
That makes total sense. And again, thinking about the companies coming and them getting the most out of the event, are there particular tips? Being a seasoned veteran, are there things that you'd suggest the companies do either before they arrive or at the event or post-event that you think will give them the biggest impact?
Well, I think step one is to utilize 100% the U.S. Commercial Service staff in their home country. At the embassies and the consulate, they can be a tremendous resource to provide information on a particular industry, on workforce, on geography, and other data such as cost of doing business, utility rates, etc. Do some research on your own. Google, doing business in Ohio, in California, in a particular metro area. Also look at the industry of interest and what the market is in the US for that industry. The US Commercial Service can help with that. The local and regional EDOs, economic development organizations, can help with that as well. And then utilize the matchmaking service that SelectUSA Summit provides. It's a great tool. It does take some getting used to, but once you've got the hang of it, you can really shotgun and cover most of the 50 states, certainly the states that would be of interest to a company from outside of the US.
You know, I really love your recommendation. They were all good, but particularly the first one where, you know, most companies coming are going to be coming with a delegation from whatever country, and the host of that delegation, the commercial service officer who's leading them from the U.S. consulate or embassy that they're coming from, has probably been participating for many years, and no matter what, has a great network. And the more they know about kind of what you're trying to solve and who you're trying to connect with, the more they can open doors for you and give you good guidance. And I think that is probably a very underutilized resource for a lot of companies. So I think that's an absolutely brilliant suggestion. So I would expect nothing less from you, Paul, than just brilliant. So
I also think when the companies are at the SelectUSA Summit, do an old party trick that I came across recently, and just introduce yourself to one person that you don't know every hour and a half. I mean, you've got 700, 800, 900 business people that can be of interest to you. Many of the good encounters that I've had at the SelectUSA Summit have not been at the formal meetings, but at the networking events, in the hallway of the conference center, even in the elevator. It is a very social event, and that's perhaps one of the most enjoyable and productive aspects of the SelectUSA Summit. People are there to learn, to connect, to help trade and investment between the USA and the rest of the world grow.
Yeah, and you probably, I think, make another good point, maybe unintentionally, is get some rest beforehand, because it's a long day, right? You go from early in the morning till sometimes pretty late at night, or even early in the next morning. So yeah, get some rest, wear comfortable shoes.
And of course, come to the Ohio reception during SelectUSA Summit. Be my guest.
Oh, that you heard it here first. Paul's inviting everybody. Well, if you don't mind, I'll put your contact information in the description if you want to share any details on the reception. Happy to share that as well, and we'll do that. But thank you so much for taking the time today. It's great, and I know companies really benefited from your comments.
And thank you, Bill, and look forward to seeing you at the SelectUSA Summit 2025.
Thank you, sir.